Okay, good afternoon. Hope everyone is okay. Another week nearly gone already. It's hard to believe we're going to be in February in a couple of days. So, last day of the week. So, it's been a slow month, I think, for everybody, certainly for me. But financially, it's not been too bad, considering it's been slow. Now, there was a second entry short failure there, and a higher low. Now, a little bit concerned. We got a channel going up with a little break and a correction, but although it's going up slowly, it's going up quite sideways and a little bit congested, and that makes me a little bit concerned. This thing has a quick flush down. I mean, it's worked in the end, but I don't like trading too close to the open, and you're talking, 5 minutes away there, so you don't quite know how prices are going to react when they open. So, Ben, good morning to you, buddy. So it does look like it's playing out to the new highs. You'd kind of expect it to. If you look on Bookmap now, we're seeing lots of orders, 75 to 82. So I think there's a fair chance. Well, we're at the 75 already, so this area. So there are sellers up here and possibly higher as well. So that channel played out. Nice little correction. It didn't trigger below there, but then it just makes me a bit nervous. And when that bar, I thought I'd give it a bit of space. When that bar kind of appeared, I thought I'd just leave it. It was a little bit congested. Disco, how you doing, bud? So, let me have a look. So up there, picked off a bunch of sellers and pulling back. Now, there are still sellers up there, really. Let me just get rid of this large. In fact, let me just look, see if this has played a part. It has a little bit. Yeah, it's definitely played a part of this area. So 80, let's just round that off at 80. So there are more sellers up there. So as this is played off, we've now got to give it a little bit of space and just see what happens. But I think overall we've had a couple of legs down. It looks like a couple of legs up. So more likely just ranging really overnight. We have been up and made new all-time highs. So whether this is kind of corrected or not, it's possible. So a fair amount of movement in the CL chart. It started off swinging quite strongly. Now, whether this is a channel, I'm not sure. It's a bit too kind of random, isn't it? But I've got a touch here, a couple of touches here. Visually, it doesn't look terrible, but I wouldn't trust it. It's hard to trade this stuff where it's constantly zigzagging. So there's nothing I can really do on here at the moment. Just got to keep an eye on it. Hopefully it sorts itself out, but I don't like it when it's random like that. Although it's going up, it's not giving us any kind of strong areas to work off. So we just keep an eye on that. Let me just double check everything is open. I'm pretty sure it is.
Order submitted.
Yeah,
Order
what
canceled.
I tend to do is when I put my order here, I set this up and then I just toggle it off just up until when I trade. So if I did accidentally hit something, I'd only be doing it with one account. So it's just a bit of a safety thing that I have. Just in case when you're messing around setting a few things up and you're not focusing so much in case you decide to hit something. At least I'm not opening 20 accounts. So I've got those orders up there at 80. There is some down at 60, which is here. So does that mean we have two legs and this pushes up? Maybe. We haven't got close to all-time highs, so if we end up having kind of a bit of a correction there, we may get up there. We certainly, another leg would take us up there. So let me just put that there like that. So I've got what looks like a little micro with a break and a new low and a couple of legs up, something like that. So sellers up here at 80, as I've marked. They've been taken off now just so I've been kind of eagerly keeping an eye on the news overnight. What with this Trump Iran issue starting to sort of starting to maybe become unsettled in the Gulf area, and who knows how that's going to affect the market. I don't doubt it will at some point. But it's sort of hotting up. There's certainly some insults flying backwards and forwards. I know Iran are saying they will retaliate strongly. Exactly what that means, who knows? But if that carries on the way it seems to, that's the next thing that's going to affect these markets. What exactly they'll do, who knows? Still haven't heard anything from Mac. I was hoping we may get a video last night and nothing. So I'm assuming, I believe he's in Oxford, Mississippi, or that neck of the woods. And they have had some pretty rough weather there. So whether he's still powerless at the moment, I'm not too sure. I know he did put a post on middle of last week, beginning of the week, that he was going to be out of action quite likely. So I'm not sure about this. I would probably more inclined to do something like that. With a little bounce at the top and a bounce at the bottom, and we are working there. So maybe it's something like that. Doesn't look terrible. We've pulled back. It does look like we're continuing on up. I certainly wouldn't trade that as a channel as of yet, so it's more of an area of interest as opposed to Little Hammer. How you doing, bud? It's more of an area of interest rather than something set in stone that I'm confident with. So you got sellers at 90 towards the top, so there are there's going to be traders up here thinking this thing is probably worth a short. We've had a few bounces up there, so if it gets up here, I wouldn't be surprised. We've had two legs down overnight and what looks like the start of the second leg up. So when we get to this area up here, that's when I quite likely expect sellers to come in. But there are sellers quite a bit high. If you look on the side here, you can see they're concentrated around that 7,000 level up here. This kind of area, which is right where you'd kind of expect sellers. So if this is a channel, it does look like it's trying to push off now. That always makes me a little nervous. Maybe it's not such a major issue at the moment. There's bound to be profit taking kind of above here or above this area, so maybe there's not enough buyers to prop this up. So I don't know, it may come down and test maybe an area of support, which is probably somewhere along those lines, but it might just continue up. We had a channel down yesterday that we were coming away from the bottom and it didn't make a damn bit of difference. The thing just caved anyway, so. But I'm always aware of that going along if we do seem to be. We've had two pushes up there, but we've come off the bottom and had two pushes up and come back to here, so we have got sellers up here at 85 and we've got sellers at 90. Is it going to get up to the top? I think it probably will. Whether it'll do it before it has another pullback, I'm not so sure. My guess is we'll get a second little drop, I think. It's just losing a little bit of momentum, I think. Or there's always the possibility we may end up doing something a little bit different. We'll see. We've still had a fair bit of volume, though. It's not been shy overnight. Usually we'll have something like that maximum, but we've had a fair amount. Whenever we do get these big pushes up or drop down, usually we do get a bit of movement. If it starts up kind of choppy, we don't usually get a lot, and that makes sense, doesn't it? While it's chopping up and down, you don't really want to trade it, do you? So we're getting back up to this little line here. Let's see. So that looks like two little legs up there. So I still think it's going to struggle. What that news is. I've got no news on my chart. Whether I don't think it's even set for. I don't even have it set for low, so I'm not sure why it does that, to be honest with you. I've got it set for... it's obviously set for low. Okay. I've got it set for low. That's why. I usually do when I've got oil news. We haven't today, I've checked. So that shouldn't come on again. So we've had 1, 2, 3 bars here now. This is the fourth one. So is it going to push up? It may do. You can see there are 200 odd contracts there not far away, so that might draw price up, but you can clearly see it's struggling a little bit there. This is the fourth bar, and we've not managed to push up really any higher. So that is a loss of momentum to me. Most of the time, we either get a break or it turns off in a different kind of direction. As I say, maybe something like this. I'm not a massive fan of that because we're missing this bit. But if we get a break, it may come down. But we'll see. Last day of the trade month, Arminas, how you doing, buddy? Yeah, I know. Amazing, isn't it? It's how quick has January gone, eh? I mean, it don't seem 5 minutes ago since we were running around wrapping Christmas presents on Christmas Eve. Now, all of a sudden, we're about to hit February. And the older you get, the quicker it goes. I can vouch for that. But at least we're heading towards a warmer month anyway. We're starting to get lighter nights now. I think around about the 26th of December, I think, is the shortest day. Certainly where I am, my neck of the woods. So we are getting slightly brighter nights now, which is a little bit nice. Another couple of months will be springing forward by an hour. Okay, so are we going to hold here or are we going to get a break? I certainly wouldn't be trading here for certain just because of that. So where naturally would it go to? There is some support and resistance. You can see it there, you can see it here, you can see it there, and you can see it there. So that for me would be the natural place that it may find some buyers. They're buyers all around here. You can see them. The ones that stick out ever so slightly is there. So whether it might clear some liquidity or not, I don't know. But yeah, it didn't work like this yesterday. We had that channel down yesterday. We kind of had that. Where was it? It's down here somewhere. We had that kind of loss of momentum. I think it was the bottom here, loss of momentum, and it didn't get very far, I think, because there was such a lot of support there before it pushed down. But you can clearly see it struggling there. Whether this is a channel, I don't know. But I mean, for me, if we're not getting above that like that, naturally you'd be thinking about taking profits. You certainly wouldn't be buying there really. So it makes sense that this thing at least makes an attempt. at going lower. I'm not even really a fan of that, to be honest with that channel. It may end up doing something like this, who knows. So that would be your kind of natural support and resistance line, which may play a part. And below that, well, in fact, around about 74-ish they are by, so more or less where price is, just above that. But then we have got a few buyers here, slightly larger than anywhere else, but nothing to write home about. It's that light blue. It's the kind of the darker orange, darker red ones I think I pay more attention to, but there is a natural sort of bounce point, if for want of a better word there, so I'd expect it to at least hit that. So a little drop through, cleared possibly any liquidity there, a couple of pullbacks. I mean, I wouldn't be buying there personally, but you can see how that line is playing a little bit of a part. Okay, so buyers sat down there. I wouldn't be thinking about buying. It's not clear where it's going at the moment, whether we're just having pullbacks and this thing's going to continue up. I really don't know. So we've picked up some buyers there, so let's see whether that neutralises the threat of the shorts and whether it turns or not. Who knows? Let's follow this down anyway. Okay, a few people have the same channel as me, but it's a little bit iffy, I think, just to sort of rely on it. There's a few people. He's got a bit of a line. He's got it. Same guy, I think. So there's a few people looking at that. Not many, but Thomas Wade hasn't got anything as yet, especially now we're getting this move down. I can't see it. So I don't know. It's not the best thing in the world, is it? Still nothing on the CL chart. Visually, it looks okay, but it's just, there's no real, I don't know, it's very random, isn't it? Now we got a little channel with the break pushing up, but now we're at the highs. Is this going to come down? Is it going to continue up? Who knows? This has been, usually the CL chart usually produces a little bit more in the way of setups than the ES does, but not been the case over the last month. Okay, a little channel down with a little break. Now, I'm not sure whether there is a channel up and this thing is going to continue up. We've got overnight highs not far up. We have got a bunch of sellers there. So whether, I mean, we could say there's a channel with a small break and this is moving up. But to me, it looks good. Looks okay, I think. So I probably expect a new low, but I wouldn't take it in case this thing goes up. So what I feel about a failure here, I'm not sure. A second entry short, bull bar there, trapped. Would I want to go short? I don't really know. My ATR is relatively high as well, so we don't need to get much of a distance. So 2 legs up, bull bar there. Let's see if this comes down. You've still got to be a little bit careful. Sellers at 80. So there are sellers there. 140 contracts, quite large. They certainly dwarf any buyers around here in the 20s and 30s. So I don't think I could go short here until it tackle that area. Probably is then you got sellers at 85, then sellers up here. So is that drawing price up? It could well do. There is a second entry short on this chart, but the EMA is flat. It's not very clear where it's going, and that it may... Well, it looks like it's working. I'm going to say it may trigger that and push up. So I've got to stay out of this, really, because by far there are more buyers above price. Now, taking away aggressive buyers and sellers, the natural pull would be upwards. So there you go. So if you took that second entry short, it looked like it was working for a time, and all of a sudden reverse quick. Now, if you got into that, you may have got something out of it because it went down for a couple of 2.5 points, but that was a bit of a cheeky trap, that one. But because the ATR's like 4.5, you got a little bit. I mean, if that was half that, say 2.2, you may have only got 1.25 points, which means you may have not got your point. So it was a bit sneaky, that was. But thanks to the high ATR, if you did decide to take a second entry short there, you may have just got your points. The trouble is, it's risky trading around here because I had what looked like a channel, and it does look like it's trying to push up to these highs. So for me, I've really got to just sit tight here and be careful. But that may have stung some traders. But I'm guessing a lot of traders probably take 2 points, so you may have been okay there, depending on how quick you got in. But it did look like it was about to drop like a stone. But I've seen that scenario before, and it never ends well. So if you've got traders, say, thinking that we've got a channel down here, what do we tend to look for? Second entry short. And not only that, you've got a higher low there, which is triggered. So you may be thinking, oh, we're trapping long traders here. And then all of a sudden the trapper became the trappee. That works. Someone said, Dan, we are looking for a second entry short. I went, yeah, depending how it's set up. To me, at the moment, price looks like it's working up. So I wouldn't be thinking about a short there. I was expecting traders to possibly get trapped there, but the trouble is the overall bias at the moment is up, so you've got to be so careful with them. I can't see anybody who took it, I don't think. Well, nobody admits to it anyway. That's ion stuff like that. Always draw my trend lines off the swing, and you clearly that you draw the trend line off a second entry short block by the microtrend. Yeah, I mean, there's different ways of doing this, isn't there? If you kind of look, I mean, if you're going from there, you've got a little microtrend and a break. Now, it didn't look any good on here anyway, but the left side here, it's quite different. But, you know, we've got a channel down here, and for the most basic principle of Pats, we're looking for a channel with a break and a retest of the bottoms. So there may have been traders trapped there. It was certainly a possibility. And it looked like it was going to work for a minute. We got very close, so sometimes these can go either way. But at the moment, it's more looking a bit rangy, if anything, I'd say. So off the bottom, there's multiple reasons to sort of stay out of this, to be honest with you. It's not really very clear, is it? What are you on about down here or something like that, are you? For next swing. I had something like this, I think. Or did I have something like... I can't really remember now. Yeah. It's hard to say exactly what's going on here. Especially when it's like this. Your channels can change from 1 minute to the next. So it kind of works, but it's not great. We have got 2 legs down there. We've got what looks like a little channel, maybe a break and a new low. Same again, risky. It doesn't look terrible, but at the moment it's very random, and that's what worries me a little bit. There is a break and a new low there, so you may get traders thinking, "Oh, there's a channel up there or with the bottom of this," but it might hold. But I just don't like all this area. You never know whether we're going to flush down and clear out areas like this or here. Not what I'm talking about. I wasn't necessarily having you in mind when I was drawing that channel. I was just drawing it in general. But we got a bounce here. It may work. Who knows? I'm just not a massive fan of it at the moment. It's just not super clear for me, so if it's not clear, I just stay out of it. Regardless of what I think's going to happen, I want a certain amount of confidence that the trade's going to work, otherwise I just sit tight. It's quite hard sometimes, isn't it, trying to talk without any, you being able to post something or diagrams. It's a bit hard, isn't it? But we got a bit of a channel down there with a break. I mean, this may come down and make it, I don't know, but it's very rangy and choppy at the moment, isn't it? We've had that kind of move up, a little bit of a correction, new high, and we do seem to be just doing this at the moment. So there's no real concrete direction at the moment. We've got a channel with a break and a new low. There is a strong higher low there, so that may push it up, or it may trigger it and come down and test the lows again. Who knows? That big bull bar on the left chart hasn't triggered, but it is very trappy around here, isn't it? I mean, we got a bull bar off the bottom, another strong higher low there, but same again. I tend to stay out of the middle, trading right into that midline. When it's doing this, it tends to be trappy. I think if you're going to trade, you've got to do it right off the bottom or when it drops below the previous and then finishes strong. But at the moment, who knows where it's going to go. So I'll look what the CL chart's doing. So if you took that higher low, this is looking a bit concerning, isn't it? Trouble is, we've got a channel down there. There is a break and a new low. But if this is rangy, we didn't quite get to the top, so you don't know whether this thing's going to have a quick flush down and clear the bottom line. It feels like price can explode. Yeah, when it's like this, you never quite know when it's going to go. 1 minute, we pull back and push up, and it looks like that second entry's trapped, and the bull bar's okay, and all of a sudden we're getting close to lows, and you're thinking, actually, it might be the other way around. But generally, I for the most part, I avoid in the middle. With all of that, don't diddle in the middle. But if you're going along there, you're literally going along right into that middle line. And at the moment, it's very much like this. And in that case, there was a bull bar off the bottom and a higher low. And some traders might think, okay, that's worth going. There's, 9 points to the top. And then you never quite know when it's going to decide to do that. So trading in the middle, I mean, you can argue the same for the second entry short. It could trigger you, create a failure and go long. But when it's like this, it's not super clear. And the overall for me, maybe 20 minutes ago, the bias was up. I'm not so sure now. Maybe we're topping off here. Or we're going to have two legs down, clear any liquidity, and this thing may shoot up. But when it's like this and I got no real idea what's going on, the simple thing is just to sit out, don't diddle middle. Yeah, I've heard a few people say that, but it's right, isn't it? It just goes to show you go along there right into the middle, it stitches you up and that, but you never know, it may have worked. So, but when it's like that, I just tend to stay. I've never had much luck with these. I used to try and force trades and thinking, well, it is an high or low, so let's have a go. But you learn over time, don't you? Where there's areas that, this is a bit risky. Same with another here. Most breakouts failed, but I'm not a fan of that. I'm not a fan of trading like that because we've come off the tops. We've only managed to get 3/4 of the way up. We come down to the bottom and then we push up again, and we've only just got above the middle line. So for me, is that losing a bit of upward momentum? In which case, going long here at the moment is not something I would really want to do. Now, a higher low might be a better option, but for me, I'm just sitting tight here. Yeah, most breakouts fail, but not always strongly. Sometimes it's just temporarily. It'll push back in. It did a few times yesterday, didn't it? Tried to come back in and ended up taking off in the end. So these are not what I consider reliable trades, really. But you can see we're starting to get that kind of tipping feeling. Now, that just might be how it's looking at the moment. It may not mean anything, but it's too risky going long here, I think. Does look like generally it's just more of a range at the moment. We've got no significant move, obvious move in a direction as of yet. Yeah, so Thomas Wade he's just removed everything there. It's not fantastic, but generally with a bounce here, and it kind of from this area is kind of range, isn't it? So I've put that on there just as a kind of a possibility. Okay, on this chart we got a higher low. Is it working? It looks like it is. But as we're losing this momentum, for me, it's too risky. The ATR is quite high, so even errors, you may get something. Now, all of a sudden, is this a second entry short? Possibly, but look at the size of the bar. It's not worth trying it, really, is it? I'm going to say most buyers at the moment seem to be getting trapped, so maybe it would work, but I'm not risking 25 ticks there, because who knows. Trust me, you do nothing, it drops like a stone. The second I get in, it turns the other way around. It's uncanny how it works. Trouble is, as we've pushed in, we could... depending on where you've got that bottom line there, it could be looking like it might be testing this. And then we may come back, trap some shorts, test it again, and woof, up we go. So there is a possible failure there. It's not a great one for me because that, although it's pushed up, is still below that EMA, and it's not super strong, but I wouldn't be surprised if it took off. But you never know what it's going to do around here. Is it testing there? Are there buyers interested in pushing this up or not? It's very trappy, so you've got to be a bit careful. So second entry short failure. I dare say there's probably some traders that may have had a go at that, but EMA is a bit flat. It's below the EMA, and you never know how it's going to react to the bottom of this, especially when we've lost momentum. My guess is it may decide to continue down, but who knows? So there's a lower high now. But same again, I'm sitting tight here because if you look at this, it's still a little bit risky. I think it could turn quick. We are holding slightly along this bottom line, so it could surprise everyone and shoot up. But you can see how it's doing a bit of this now, so best just stay out and let them get on with it. Someone's gone lower high. You're going lower high into possibly the bottom of this. It is working now, but for a minute it did look like it may go the way around. But I wouldn't want to be shorted into this, regardless of whether I think it's losing momentum, because it is super risky. And look at these wicks. You never know. This might decide to turn. It's trying, isn't it? There you go. So that's why you don't short into the bottom line. Now, purely because the ATR is nearly 5, you may have got away with it. But it's super risky. If you go in there, what did it go down? Well, actually, it didn't go as much as I thought. So you'd have got 2 points at a push there. But as much as this looks like it's losing momentum and there is a second entry short, the lower high, it's kind of in the middle of all this and shorting right into that bottom line. You can clearly see it's played a part. So I used to have a sheet of paper stuck to the side of one of my older monitors that was laminated, said taking a trade, look left, and straight away if you look left you're thinking bounce, 2 bounces there, 3 bounces there, maybe there, so going short is super risky. I still think it's struggling to get up. We may have 2 pushes and it may drop like a stone, clear some of this liquidity. But you get used to these I used to call these down and across. As I would like to go a little bit further for a lower high, maybe out here somewhere, but down and across, I've been caught out in the past with those. So the setup I don't like, and shorting it into support is a big no-no anyway, so we leave it. Okay, so Thomas Wade's decided to put a range in now. He's done it the same as me anyway, so let's have a look. Did anybody... I think you might have got away with that bar. I think there was enough that there wasn't. Okay. So I see one trader went short there. Luckily realising got out for 2 or 3 ticks. The good thing about that is it pulled back and you had this. You did have enough time to get out because it went a little sideways, but it's super risky that because you can see once, twice, it's clearly holding a little bit. So you got to just leave that alone. I'm surprised he took that actually. I won't show you his name, but you can clearly see lower high. He got in there and got out a tick below. I think he realised what was going on. He's a good trader, actually. Mind you, I think he saw what was happening and decided to get out. But I wouldn't be surprised if 1 or 2 others got a bit stuck there. Someone else said in this situation. Like that, I'd only be interested in lower high because of how big the retracement by 2 legs was. Still super risky, I think. It's just the fact that going short into what's starting to look like the bottom of a bit of a range, it can catch you out that. So we got a channel there with a break and a new high. Now that's interesting. 85, there are over 1,000 contracts for sale there. Now, sometimes they just put them there just to draw price up and don't necessarily intend on selling them. Spoofing, I think they call it something like that. But there's 1,130 contracts there. It's quite a large amount, that is. So you can see them there, right at 85. So I'll be surprised if price doesn't hit that. Now, the only downside is once it gets above that red bar there, if they yank them, that's kind of where it'll happen. But you can see them there, 1,123. Let's see if it get yanked. It's getting awful close, though. Surely, if you were going to yank it, you'd probably done it by now. We're only a few points away. We'll see. Let's see. I'll be surprised if they yank them. It's getting very close. If you've got a massive load of orders and you don't really want to sell them there, you wouldn't leave it till the last minute in case they got triggered. Now, I will say, I absolutely expect this to break out the top. We've got to break out the bottom. 9 times out of 10, we'll get one the opposite end. So, I'm very confident that this is going to break out the top. One out the bottom, one out the top. I probably even draw that down there now. But it's still a breakout, so I expect one at the top. So maybe just 2 legs down and then upwards. How would I feel about going long down here? Second entry long up there. With those orders there, my guess is it goes up, but I would feel a little bit unnatural going long, especially when we've had 3 attempts to push up. My guess is with the bounces we've had, it would probably work. It's very tempting, but I'm going to sit tight. Same again. You are going along. I mean, there's plenty there anyway. Okay, so those orders stayed. I'm surprised. I thought they may get yanked. So I don't think it was a terrible trade. Trouble is, when we've been up 3 times like this, you just never quite know. But you know, as I say, whenever we have those, we all know this by now, don't we? Whenever we have breaks out, we almost always have one the opposite end on the way up. And there we go. So. Did anybody take that? I don't think it was a bad trade personally, but it's not something I like doing because even if you just look left, you can clearly see we're struggling a bit here. And again, so you never quite know. And that channel up, we've already had a break and a new high. So another attempt, you just never know if there's enough sellers up here. But the one good thing I think that was going to take that up is the 1,100 sellers there. And you can see how strong it pushed up there, straight to them sellers. So yeah, I was tempted to do that. How big was the bar? So it wasn't a huge. It was still $200. Still risking over $4,000. Took on the NQ. Yeah, as I say, I don't think it was a bad trade. It's not the type of trade I usually take. But the 2 things going for it with 1,100 orders up here and the fact that we had a break out the bottom, that break out the top is almost identical in size-wise. It's weird how that works, but it really does. So, are we now going to push up for another leg? Who knows? Triple test. Someone said a triple test. I didn't see it was a triple test. It's only really 2 tests, but it is 2 legs back, isn't it? So, and it clearly worked. It's not really a triple test. You can't count that. All that is really, it's on its way up. That's the first one. That's the second one. So it's not really a triple test, but it is a second entry long. That the top of that bar is a tick lower. So it is a second entry long, and you have got orders up here. So It's not a bad setup at all, that isn't. But as I say, it's not one of the ones I really like taking. But the good thing going for it is we had 1,100 contracts, which is a large amount. You don't often see that really, right at one level. So look how it reacted. One bar straight up. What was that? 85, 4.5, 5.5. It was 5 3/4 points straight up. Closed right on its high. It was a full green bar there. So that was good. That was. As I say, I don't usually take those as a rule, but kind of wish I had done there. There you go. There you go. It's just that ATR is a little bit large at the moment when it's doing this. Sometimes it can upset you. Okay, lower high there. Would I go long into the top? We've had a breakout here. We've had a breakout at the top. No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't go long again, regardless of what it does. But we've had this move up, and we have had 1, maybe 2, maybe 3 attempts. We broke below, cleared previous liquidity, retested this and pushed up. So if it's going to go, I wouldn't be surprised if it did it now, but I'm just sitting tight at the moment. Yeah, it's just when we've had 3 attempts, you never quite know whether traders are going to give up. Okay, high or low there, would I take that? Not really. It is above price at the moment, but that could be a second entry short. Trouble is, I'd want to wait for it to go below the EMA, and if it does get below the EMA, it may have already stopped that out, so I'm just sitting tight here. But as I say, with these bounces here, if it's going to continue up, this wouldn't be a bad place for it to happen. But it did absorb them big sell orders quite easily. So, are these longs trapped? Yes is the answer. So the trouble is, going long there, we got a little micro channel here with a second entry short here. Now the bars naff to go short. Didn't look terrible on here. And it was a failure. Not a great one. But yeah, if you took that one, triggered you by a few ticks and turned on you. But going long like that, it's just too risky. We could have a leg and then it may go up. And look at that now. Comes back, does you for a tick, and then starts to move up again. Does rub your nose in it when that happens. I'm not convinced it is going to get up, but who knows. This is trappy to me. It's very congested. We got a leg down. This can have a quick flush down. There's another higher low here or possible failure. In fact, it is a failure. That bar there triggered below there, so that is a second entry short. Well, yeah, you can count that, which triggered, and now it's pushing up. My guess is this is going to come down still because it's very congested here. We've got a leg down and a little pullback, so that one is going to get stopped out, I believe. And then there's a big bull bar on the bottom here, but it is sideways, so that makes it super risky to go long. It does anyway, right at the top, but because of the structure of it, it could possibly still go up, but I wouldn't be holding my hopes up. So there we go. Short failure triggered stopped out. As I say, leg down, little bit of sideways. My guess is a second leg down, and then it may continue up. I still think we could now start to move up from here, but I'd like to see a couple of pullbacks first. For me, it's got to get below that big bull bar, which would be somewhere around about here. 2 legs down. In fact, probably a little bit less than that. So below that bull bar there, little 2 legs back. There's going to be liquidity there. There's going to be liquidity there. 2 legs down, clears that out. And then if this thing's going to push up, this is where I expect buyers to get in. Push out the top, 2 legs back, clear any previous, and then woof up we go. Same again, wouldn't be going long into the top, too risky. May work, but that's super risky. Does anyone know why Ninja Trader showed me invalid vendor? And when we put Flowbots, while I have a lifetime license? I don't know. Anybody know why Ninja? Invalid vendor name. Okay, so is this the first time you've used it? Because you have to, there's a certain way of doing it, isn't there? You've only got to do it once, though. So is this your first time using Flowbots? It's not your first time, no. I'm not sure then, bud. I just at the moment I just reboot it, see if that helps, and failing that, you might have to message the guy from Flowbots. He's a nice bloke, actually. I've spoken to him a few times, so he's really approachable. So if you're not sure, I would do that. Okay, so that bull bar there has now been stopped out. That bull bar there, if you'd have bought there, is now been stopped out. For me, I need to get below there and then see a move up. My guess is we're still generally slowly climbing higher, but I wouldn't want to get into it, especially with that little pullback, until it broke below there, which is right down here to that measured move. So my guess is this is where price will get to. If you spell it wrong, that's a good point, actually. Yeah, that seems to ring a bell, that does. If you spell it wrong when you put it in. Yeah, you've only got to get it slightly wrong. Yeah, it's a good point. Try that. A streaming, forced to narrate the market out aloud, and have been doing for years. I wonder how much this has contributed to your skills as a trader. I would say yes. Certainly for me personally. Because I'm the type of person sometimes that walks down the street and I talk to myself, I chunter. And what it is thinking out aloud. And I've always thought if I say it, it sticks in there more than if I think it. Does that make sense? Even when I'm reading, I get much more information out of an audiobook than I do reading it. It's just kind of the way I am, I think. So yeah, for me, thinking it, I don't hear it as much as saying it, if that makes sense. Okay, so we've done what I expected there. We've got 2 legs down. We've cleared any previous liquidity. So if you're going to get buyers in, this is where it's going to happen, because at the moment, I still think this is still slightly bullish. But I could be wrong. Yeah, in a way, it's like a pilot, really, isn't it? They kind of talk through what they're doing. Or is it nothing like that? I don't know, actually. But yeah, I've always been the same, and for me, it's just thinking out aloud, and it tends to stick in my brain a little bit more, mate. So yeah, you put a capital B and F. Yeah, when he said that, I've heard that before, When I built my new computer a few months ago, I had a few issues getting everything back and working, and I seem to recall that was what it was. So is that Marky? Yeah, good point there, mate. Well done. Ugh. Cold coffee. Nothing worse than wanting to trade, is there? And you can't because something's not working. So, you can always try doing that yourself. Talk through what you're thinking. But I don't suppose it works for everyone. Certainly me, it does. I'm the type of person, if I buy something, the instructions go in the bin. Unless I'm building like a wardrobe or something. But most other things, I don't do instructions. I'm more of a visual. I like to have a play around with it. Whether it's a man, my wife says it's a man thing. I don't know what it is. My wife will sit there for hours and go through the instruction book. Some of these instruction books are like a bloody Bible, aren't they? They're that thick. No, they go in the bin. I don't read that sort of crap. No, I'm a visual man. So, Sean, did you recently update Flow? Okay, yeah. I think he's sorted now, isn't he? Anyway, so good on you. But yeah, sometimes that can make a difference, can't it? In fact, I upgraded Trader. Was it a week ago or within the last week? So is this now coming back or what? I still think there's a good chance this may go higher, but that's just based on this move up and the consolidation. But I certainly wouldn't go long here at the moment. Okay, excuse me just for 1 second. Okie dokie. Kurt, where you been, lad? I'm wondering where you were. Come on, Bullbar. Where you been hiding? Karina was having a panic attack yesterday, wondering where you were. Is there something larger here? There may be. It's certainly possible. Wow. What's causing that to move like that? Is it just the fact that we're coming down? Maybe. Okay, I thought as it's Friday, I'd pour myself a single malt. I'm only having one. Got to go out shopping later. Good money yesterday, easy day. Yeah, I took a trade yesterday. It wasn't bad at all yesterday, was it? There was definitely a few trades around, that's for certain. I had a quick 3 points on a trade. I know it's Marco marked the one I took as well. It was, forget what it was now. It was that one, wasn't it? We had a bit of a channel up there. I wish I'd have blooming held now, but 2 legs down. It was 1, 2, 3 triple test. Channel up with the break. Clearly trapping. Trap traders there. Traders with the lower high. Traders along here, and then woof up it went. A little pull back and again. So yeah, I mean there was definitely some trades around this area down here, wasn't there? For sure. It wasn't a bad day. It was the best day we've had for a long time, that's for certain. You have to purchase the tech support new renewal flowbots. Do you have to purchase the tech support? Not that I'm aware of, bud. Using the old one. No, once you bought it, it's like shit. Once you bought it, excuse me, it's a lifetime license. So no, you don't. Once you pay for it, no, there's nothing else to pay, unless you buy a second license for a second machine. So no, you're good, mate. You're golden. Now, is that more like that? I'm guessing it probably is. So where is this thing going? Is it coming down here? Who knows? Copy traded half my Apex block this morning. Stressful. But got the win. Good on you. Yeah, I'm okay now. I mean, I remember trading maybe a year or so ago, trading. I wouldn't trade 20 contracts. It scared me trading 10. But I got to say, every time you move that little step forward, it gets less and less scary. So I can trade 20 contracts now. I'm not scared. I'm risking the right amount, I think, for me. My average risk is 150, I suppose, isn't it? Which is not a huge amount. I'd certainly have to lose, I don't know, 15 trades in a row, really, before that risk of... You're not really going to do that, to be honest with you. So, maybe this is a break from this channel. If you look at the orders, there are more buy orders down here. 55 right below here, but I'm not so sure how I feel about shorting at the moment. I'd like to see a couple of legs. That's just one little channel. There may be a break and a new low, but it's nothing that interests me just at the moment. There is a second entry short there, but I don't like it. It's a bit too far from the EMA for me. It may work, but I'm happy to sit outside this, I am. There is a higher low trap, so that's one positive thing. But it doesn't look... It's amazing how much different these charts look today. That's 1,000 ticks for you, or 900 ticks difference. So we've got a channel with a break and a new high. We've certainly got a break and a new high here, but it's a bit of a odd area this is. It's a bit too far from the EMA, and as it's ranging at the moment, you never quite know what it's going to do. So second entry short, possible a lower high. I don't like this. This is super risky for me. And there you go. If you took that, you got stopped out. It's a little bit congested. We've been ranging at the moment, so is this going to go back in the range or is this going to fail? I don't know. That's quite tempting. 2 attempts at the lows here. Sellers at 55. It's tempting, that is. Channel break, new high, but the bar's naff. So you see some real rejection up here. Would have to be right here, and we're not getting it. Really strong move up there. 24 ticks that bar was. Look at that thing, look. Well, I got that wrong. I was expecting it to continue up there. It ended up coming back and clearing all this first. Now look at it go. Good grief. So, the last 3 bars, 13.75 points. Straight up. So, can I bring this down now? Breakout there, small breakout there. That looks okay to me, that channel. So it's still ranging at the moment. Breakout the top. We had it a bit different here, but I brought that down. Now it's touching there, touching on that 1 bar, touching twice there, another couple of times. Do you need to delete and reinstall it? No, I don't think so. I don't think so. It's a bit tricky because you're only doing it once. If it's something you're doing regular, you've got a better idea how it's working. I'm still thinking that there may have been an overshoot there. That's originally I had that. I don't know. Let's get rid of it. I don't like it. So it's not easy to read Bookmap today because you've got equal orders above and below, and that is why it's just tending to chop around sideways. If you look, it's very evenly split. Sellers up here, buyers down here. So that's probably a lot to do with why it is just chopping back and forth. So channel break, new high, channel break, are we coming down? Who knows? I wouldn't be trading in the middle anyway. So that may be a bit of an overshoot. That would make sense. You're long on the NQ. It's very similar to the NQ, isn't it? I got it there. Just shopping around. You'd expect stops around here, wouldn't you? Actually quite similar today. Sometimes they're very different, but we had those initial 2 pushes down, a push up and chop. Same here, initial 2 pushes down, push up and chop. Okay, so we're getting into this seller zone here. So it starts at 85 there, which you'd kind of expect. And there are some at 90, which is a touch higher. This is where you expect sellers to be. So that little breakout there mitigated with the opposite of that end. Little push in, little retest, and then strong move up, followed by 2 clean legs up. So this is where you'd expect sellers, of course. Trouble is, it's timing it, isn't it? You want really to get above at least these few. There's kind of like was it a failure or a lower high there? So you expect to get above that, which we have now. There may be some more there. That's kind of the top of the tree. Will it get that high? Who knows? That's what I would consider 3 attempts to go lower. So maybe this is the time it's going to push up, or it could just continue ranging. What's happened to interest rates? Have been kept the same, haven't they? I'm pretty sure. It didn't really do much, is it? So I'm guessing that they just stayed unchanged, I think. No, I don't like that. So we definitely call it 2 legs up. So we got a bear bar there. Trouble is, we're not quite high enough up here. Now, it may work, or it could trigger and push up. You can see 170, 250, 350, 455. There's about 500 contracts between those 2 red lines. Now, it depends if there's enough aggressive sellers who like this area and want to sell, and you probably get why they would, it may go down. But when you've got a bunch of sellers up there, I would always kind of avoid something. It is 2 legs up, and we're at the right area, but I'm not a massive fan of trading ranges. On the odd occasion, it seems super clear. If we had 3 attempts and we had 2 legs down like that with a strong bar, and we'd had clear 3 attempts, I would have a go at it. But around these areas, sometimes they can be a bit hit and miss. We have had 2 clear legs up. We have picked off some of those sellers, but there's still a bunch more up here from 85 onwards. So let's put that back just above, about just a fraction above 85. So there, Now, I wouldn't want to go long there because you may get trapped, but my guess is with these sellers up there, it's going to push above that bear bar. So that would cancel the idea of trading that one. Now, if there's a lower high with a trap bull bar, it may go down, but for me, it's a bit dangerous. In fact, I think we've actually broken above that now. Yeah, we have by a tick. So that one got stopped out. Now, possibly a lower high, not while those orders are there. There's still a bunch of them, 87.5, which is right above where price is. So it's just sit and wait. You never know. Sometimes these things just drop straight back in. But I don't like this at the moment. It's not cleared out. There is still liquidity up there. There, it's broken above it. New highs of the day. So tell a lie. New highs of this range. So once it's above there, if you want to sell strong enough, that would be the safest place to do it, because it does depend. If you sell here, put your stop up here and your profit down here, some may trade it like that, but for me, I'm just sitting tight here. It's a bit hit and miss, but my guess is with those orders there, it's more likely to come up, pick them off. So here we go. So 120 contracts there, 167 contracts there. We are going a bit sideways. It is finding a bit tricky, but I don't doubt. Oh, there we go. I don't doubt it's going to work. So we get some sellers there, and there are more here. Now, there are some popping up a little bit further up at 95, which is at the highs of the day. So is this thing going to continue up? I got no idea, honestly. We have ticked above there, I think. We have now anyway. So sellers there, which we've just hit. They've disappeared, so now let's see where price goes. It could continue up, couldn't it? It doesn't, it's kind of still quite neat, isn't it? Pushing up quite strong, so. So maybe there's something, I don't know. Would I short here above this? Nope. Because 92.5 sellers there. 95 sellers there and a bit higher. There's too many sellers up here. This is looking quite bullish. So my guess is this may continue up. Now, it could come back and test this. It could come back to the EMA, or it could reverse. But as we've pushed up into this area, we've bounced once, twice, 3 clear bounces and a strong move up. So my guess is it's going to go higher, at least temporarily. So you can see those orders there at 6,250 contracts, 117 there, and some a bit higher as well. I'm guessing it's maybe 97.5-ish. So sellers, and sellers above price. Seen a lot of green. Hey, buddy, how you doing? Brickerson. That's a mouthful of it. It's been a slow month, but I'm still up a little shy of 11,000, so consider it's been a crap month. That's all right for me, to be honest with you. But yeah, it's been a positive month. I haven't lost a trade since early last month. I haven't taken a great deal. I think I've taken 6 trades all month, to be honest with you, but they've all been winners. So that's the main thing. But it's not been a great month, to be fair, but yesterday wasn't too bad. This is not turning out too bad. We had a chance. There was a second entry short there, which did work. I ummed and ahed about that one, but that was another one I wish I'd have taken, but it's just against my nature to go long into support regardless. The fact that it worked, and I thought it may work, as we had 1,000 contracts set up here for sale, but sometimes them contracts can get yanked. So, you know what I mean? It's just, but it's been all right, actually, mate. It's been all right. It's been a relaxing month, although quiet. So, let me have a look. So there are sellers around the 86 level, which is there. Now, 92.5, which is there. Sellers there. We've still got sellers at 95. They're slowly feathering out. Now, there is a lower high there. It's too risky for me, I think. It doesn't excite me. We've got a bit of a channel there. Trouble is, little micro, we've had a break and a new low all in one foul swoop, so you can't take that really. You're hoping it's coming back into the chart, into the channel. But what I will say is this move up off the bottom, we've had 3 clear attempts to bounce, so I still expect this to pop up at some point. I thought it was going to happen there, but it didn't. So my guess is it's still likely to push up a bit higher, but call it a gut feeling, just how things look, how things generally go as a rule. But I certainly wouldn't trade based on that opinion. But then you do nothing, the thing swipes down. It's one of them things, isn't it? Never really liked ranges. Sometimes they can be okay, but at the moment, it's every time we hit the top, it's in a different place down here. So there are to trade ranges. You took it. That one there. Yeah, the only issue I have with that is we got a channel with a break and a new low in one go. You know, there's no room to the lows. We're already at the lows, so that's what makes me a little bit concerned. Too much risk, yeah. I mean, if I'd have been on a valuation, I'd have jumped all over it. Just, but you know, so sometimes the trouble is if I'm trading 20 contracts, 20 accounts, what's that, 6? So that's over a $7,000 risk for me. If I times that by 20, that's over $7,000 of risk. Not a chance in hell. I mean, the bar's big anyway, but as I say, channel break, new low in one go, so some of these bars are rather large. You got 8 points. Good on you, mate. Trouble is, you never know when these ranges, you never know when it's going to decide to continue on or even drop down, and that's the problem I have with ranges, especially when they're in different places all the time. It just makes them near damn impossible to catch right. Two trades only for this week. That tells me you got good patience, bud. Yeah, look at that as a positive, mate. I have to thank you so much. You've made me much calmer. I've made you calmer, because I'm quite wired and hyper. But when you get to that level with trading, it can be quite calming. It takes a while to get there. See, I would have never described trading as a calming thing, but you switch something. It's definitely good to watch someone else, I think, just to get a second opinion. The trouble is, when you're learning to trade, there's so much in the way of failure. It's very hard to believe you can do it. And sometimes, up until recently, I got on a trade and I'm thinking straight away, you're having doubts. But sometimes when you see someone else and you get a second opinion, it's always nice to have a bit of support in life from whatever capacity it is. And just for a second opinion, if anything, two heads are better than one, as they say. But it helps me. It's definitely helped me streaming. So if it helps you, it's win-win. But it is good to have other opinions, isn't it? Because sometimes I don't know. I mean, I still glance here from time to time just to look at some other charts if I'm not sure, just to get second opinions. If someone else has got the same, looks like someone else took a short there. They went right from the very top. It's always nice to have another opinion, for certain. But if it helps us both, happy days. You're very welcome. Now, have we got something larger here? Trouble is, you've got to start with the small stuff, but when it opens up a little bit and continues down, maybe there is something a little bit longer. It doesn't look terrible, does it? Now it's looking better. Now we're getting to the bottom. Trouble is, when we push up into a range, my natural thought process is we eventually push out the top. It's kind of like this: push up, sideways, push up, sideways, push up. Usually, kind of in an overall range. Although it doesn't always look like it. If you went on a different chart, and it carried on to here and then back to here, it would probably work. But until the end of the day, you never really know. So you just have to kind of trade it for what it is, which is not always that simple. I'm going to say, I wish I had the nerve to hold. I mean, look at that. If that thing goes down, you've got 20 points out of a possible move for the top. At some point later in my career, if I get to the, if I can end up maybe just risking 1% or 2%, in some cases it's worth holding on. I found out something. I was chatting to a guy called Jason last night, and he was asking me about live accounts. Did I intend on doing a live account? And what I didn't realise in the UK, I know when Apex pay me, I pay normal income tax, which I think the first 12.7 is free. I think it's 20% for the next 40,000, and then it goes up to 40% over 50, 60,000, and then up to 45. But trading futures in your own brokerage it's classed as capital gains, so the maximum you pay is 28%. Yeah, and I didn't realise. I think I've heard something in the past, but I haven't been close to thinking about my own account. He also said to me as well, you can open something called a spread betting account, where you trade it almost the same, but instead of betting on points, you're betting on pounds. And that is tax-free. So I need to look into a little bit more of that. But someone else mentioned that scruffy trader that I followed for a little while and chatted with him. He mentioned he had some money in IG or something was the brokerage. But yeah, I mean, capital gains, the maximum capital gains is 28%, whereas the maximum income tax is like 45%. There's a fair old difference, isn't there? So at some point this year, I will be starting to funnel some money over to my own account. What I'm probably going to start with is $7,500 and just trade one contract, which average risk is around about 2%, 1.5% to 2%, which I think is perfectly fine on this. If you've got $7,500 of your own money in there, risking one contract is fine. But it makes sense that, you know, that you build. I think initially it's sim, and then it's prop firm, and then it's your own live account. Not that I would suggest anyone to not bother with prop firms. Prop firms are a massive income, especially if you're a trader. You know, if you're a trader with $100,000 in your own account, you may be making, I don't know, $10,000 a month, and you can clearly trade. Prop firms are a massive untapped market for a lot of traders. Not that prop firms really want seasoned trader, but they don't know who you are. So there's certainly money to be made. So, but the one good thing about trading your own account is you have full control. So, you know, as I start to get payments this month, that's what I'll do. I'll start to prop up my own brokerage account. I might start with $7,500 and then slowly build it. And the good thing in the UK as well is if you use that as your pot and you grow it, when you come to retiring, you've got a nice lump sum there as a pension as well. But I did have a conversation with a guy about that, and what he does is, I think he had about $120,000. He put enough money in his brokerage to trade his accounts. He didn't put it all in just in case anything out of the ordinary ever happened. So he made sure he had plenty in there to trade his contracts, and the rest he put in the S&P 500, invested it. So he's still trading contracts based on his massive pot, but he may only have a quarter of it in his brokerage at any one time. But he's got the backing for it, and it doesn't make sense really having, you know, $100,000 in there if you're only really maybe trading 10 contracts, because you only need about sort of 20% of that really to more than cover your margin. So it makes sense to pop it into. I mean, the invested in the S&P 500, you know, in its own entity is always going to be about as safe as you can get, really. I think over the last 20 odd years, the S&P 500's averaged 10% a year, but over the last 12 years, it's averaged the last 10 years, it's averaged 14%. So it's really a good thing to invest in. So I think once you start making money, in fact, when I started trading with a guy called Andrew Lockwood, he told me, focus on getting the trading right and the money will follow you. I guarantee it. So when you can trade, money's around, isn't it? Then it'll start to follow you. So finding a little bit of support here. Channel break, new low. So you still got to be a bit careful here. And same again. If you go short here, it's around that middle. So, but yeah, capital gains, fair old chunk. 45% tax, a lot of money. 28% is a massive amount of difference. And I will look into this spread betting as well. I don't quite know how it works, but the less you pay to HMRC is always a good thing, isn't it? Half those politicians have got money stashed away and find ways of saving tax. There's no reason why we shouldn't take full advantage of it. Loopholes are there, aren't they? Okay, I'm just going to take a quick 5-minute break and make a cup of tea. And I'll be back with you guys. So I'm just going to put that on the screen. I'm just going to toggle off my Replicanto. So I'll be around about 3 to 5 minutes and I'll be back with you. Okay. Right, would I be interested in a short there? Not really, because we've had 2 bounces, so you don't know what's going to happen there. You could probably argue it's a double test. We've got a triple test. It may be an option, but trouble is when it's like this, you can get into a bit of trouble if you're not careful. Looking up, spread betting is classed as gambling in the UK, therefore not taxed. You can spread bet, yes, futures on some brokers. Crazy. I know it's weird, and it's someone, that scruffy trader guy said, I'm sure he could. Is it IG Market or IG? Is that the brokerage? I will have to look into it. Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? You think more people would do it, but I don't know. There's a couple, I think. I will have to look into it. But, I mean, to be honest with you, I don't even mind 28% capital gains, bet them bloody... see, it's 40%. I think if you win over, isn't it 57,000? £57,000. I think anything above that is taxed at 40%. So it's a lot of money. And then I think when you hit, I don't know, 100,000, maybe it's not that much. It's 45%. So by the time you paid national insurance, you've lost half your money, haven't you? So. Capital gains tax a much better option, I've got to say. That I don't mind, 28%. That's not far off normal tax, is it, that? I watched the video last night as well. And he was talking about Apex, and what Apex do now is on your chart, if you go onto your Apex chart, in fact, let me see if I can do it. Where's this video? If you go onto your Apex chart, you can actually see a little mark where you've broken a rule. Let me just have a look at history. Why can I not see my history? Oh, there we go. History. This is it.
Okay.
Let me just find this bit that shows you. Can't find it now. I can't find it. Apparently on your chart, Flowbot says it's a NinjaTrader. Do I need to reinstall my NinjaTrader? Honestly, mate, I'm not sure. Does anybody else know? I'm not sure. I would try and avoid that from my personal view, because I'd be concerned about losing all my add-ons I've had for the last God knows how long. I'm not 100% sure how it works, to be honest with you. What I would probably do is maybe drop an email to the guy at Flowbots. He's really approachable, actually. He's a nice guy. I've chatted to him a bunch of times. You tried reinstall and install Replicanto both the last. There you go. Have a go at that, bud. Let me just get my Apex account. Let me just show you. There's a little mark on it. Well, there's not on mine, but there is a little mark that you get. Active PAs. View PA charts. Okay, so here's my PA charts there. Now, if you look at the top here, these lines here, if you've broken a rule, there'll be a little diamond there, which shows you that you've broken a rule. Obviously, during mine, I haven't. But I think what they're trying to get at is to stop having to deny you. Because when you deny trader payouts, you piss them off, even though they may be in the wrong. So the best thing to do is to let them know beforehand that they're breaking rules, and they can get on top of them, because we need rules in life, whatever you do. There are always going to be rules, and trading rules are never more important. So the best thing, Apex are doing was letting people know and putting a little mark on your record and showing you where you broke a rule. That way, when you come to a payment, if you can apply for a payment, it'll automatically be there saying you can apply for it. So at least you know, then you don't have to worry about it being denied. So this is a choppy ass day today, isn't it? Up, down, up, down, up, down. Nothing I can really do on the CL chart as well, but clearly going up. But where the hell do you decide to? It may go triple test here, but I don't like going long, because often we do this, go sideways and drop, which we did. You may have. I don't even think that would have worked for 10 ticks, would it? Maybe it would have done. Oh, yeah, it would have done. But I don't like this. It's clearly working up, but it's not fitting anywhere really nice. It's very much just weaving. So this is a no-brainer for today. So this is just a range, I think. If we'd have had a triple test, then that may have interested me, but we didn't. We just had two. So bull bar at the bottom, can't take it. You don't know what it's going to do, up or down. There is more liquidity down here, and possibly here, so you don't know if it's going to continue down some more. So bull bar triggered, came down, stopped out. Another bull bar. Is this going to trigger and stop out? I don't know. The last one didn't work. I don't even touch these, to be honest with you. There is liquidity down there. Are we finally going to get further down, or are we going to continue up? God only knows. So that one didn't work. That one didn't work. Okay, so bull bar there, triggered, stopped out, bull bar there, triggered, stopped out, bull bar there. Are we going to do the same? I'd guess so. It's not going to do that and not break below there for me. We've got a measured move down here, so is this going to continue down or what? Who knows? Okay, so bull bar there, triggered, stopped out. There, triggered, stopped out. There, that's why those double bar trend channels are quite lucrative. Bull bar there, triggered, pushed down. Bull bar there, triggered. If you at the close of that bull bar in this downtrend, if you sold there, 2-point risk, 2-point profit, that worked. That worked, and that one worked. It's surprising, actually. Same coming down here. That one, that worked. That worked. That worked. That worked. Nice little wide channel there. You sold just at the close of that bar. That worked. It's surprising how often you see those, to be honest with you. Same there, we're going up. Bear bar, if you buy there, 2-point risk, 2-point profit worked. Same there worked. Amazing, isn't it? So, channel, break, 2 pushes to a new low. Would I want to go short down here? Let me just see if there's a larger channel here anywhere. It's possible. I'm just sitting tight though, I am. Sellers at 60, which is there. Is it 60? Yeah. May get a little second entry here, who knows? Now there are buyers at 55, which is quite high. They've just disappeared, which is interesting. There is a second entry short here. Now, something about this I don't like. I don't like it on this chart. That channel is not 100%. It is just 2 legs, so it's hard to say. Possible fail, second entry short. Second entry short. Fail, second entry short worked. I just don't like going long into this. You got bull strap there. Just not sure about this. So just sitting tight. There is a bear bar there, but it's 19 ticks. I don't like the way it's flicking around. It could just drop down or it could shoot up quick. You've definitely got bull strap there, that's for certain. I don't like it. I can't see enough liquidity to tempt me, to tempt price in a certain direction. This may be a lot to do with aggressive buyers and sellers. Looks a bit trappy, this, to me. Sellers at 65, which is there. Now that is interesting. 2 legs up, higher, low. Trouble is, look at the size of it. There's no room to the tops. Just 2 legs at the moment. Maybe a retest. I'm staying out of this. I am. It's 24 ticks. Once you get above there, most of the liquidity is gone. This could turn down. So that's what's concerning me getting in there. Stops there. Stops there. Stops down here. This thing could launch down. It's just a bit too choppy here. Yeah, you may argue a triple test there. 1, 2, 3. There's going to be stops there, but it's 23 ticks in the middle of chop. It may push up, but we may end up having a bit of a range there, so it may not go very far before it comes down. We've pushed up and into it, so my guess is, based on what I can see, it's more likely going to push out the top, but I still wouldn't take anything here. Reference to failure as well. The bar wasn't fantastic there. It did. I don't even think it worked, did it? Yeah, it would have worked before it came down and then took your stop. I don't know. It's not a big bar, I think, but actually there was the failure it triggered. It's a bit square around here, isn't it, for me? This is a boring ass day. Took 2 quick losses first trade. Fell second entry trap, didn't reach my 1-to-1 take profit. Second trade, I took a second entry short right to support. Yeah, happens, mate. 30 minutes to race on my whole week in 2 trades. Yeah. Oh, mate, I've been there so many times. It's frustrating, isn't it? Do you know, the one thing that's really helped me, you know, sometimes when we see an absolutely beautiful trade and you take it and everyone's talking about how nice it was, that's what I try and wait for, the really obvious ones. And the ones that maybe not so obvious, I tend to leave them, and that's helped me. 2 things have happened. I take less trades, a lot less trades, but I win 90-odd% of them. So it's hard to judge a trade sometimes by how good it is. What I tend to do is when I write my journal, I go A1, A2, and A3. A1 is a perfect setup. A2 is one I think's pretty good and I think it's worth taking. And A3 would be, I've taken an impulsive trade. I thought it was this. I got it wrong. Maybe I misjudged it. I don't often get A3s. Most of my trades are A2s, which I think they're a good setup based on my experience. But I'd say maybe 15% of the trades I take, maybe 20%, are absolute beauties. So it's not easy judging them, and I think that does just come with time, just to make the right judgment, because, you know, sometimes it's a little bit, you know, for instance, this thing up here on the left chart, we got a push in, so you'd argue we got a triple test and a big bull bar there. Now, although there's clearly got some support there, going long into the highs, I don't know how much space there was, but it is important as well. It wouldn't have worked for, well, it would have worked, but I have to make sure I'm out for the top if I take a trade like that. Now, based on what I'm looking at, it's probably going to work, but you don't, it's just, it's not super clear. It's a bit choppy. So that does, you know, knock a few point scores off it. So this type of trade is more down to experience, whether you think it's got enough legs. And bearing in mind as well, I scalp for 3 points. So if it was Mac, you would get away with stuff like that a bit more. You know what I mean? So it is a lot about judgment, and that will come more. That would have worked for me, but it's only because the ATR is over 4 today. But I know that feeling of doing well and then having a crap day. The end of your day finishing crap, and especially on a Friday, it's a ball ache. I found it just made my weekends it took the edge off them. They just weren't as nice. There was it plays on your mind a little bit, doesn't it? But what I found is if you wait for those absolute beauty setups, in your own mind, you got into what you believe to be a solid setup, and if it fails, there's a lesson to be learned on why. Is it congested? Was it right? Was there enough space? It's good to process these things. So I won't worry about it. Don't worry about having bad days. That's one of the things, I learned to do in the end, to forgive myself, because this is not easy and it's not an exact science. A lot of it is down to experience. And when you're learning to do something that's difficult, you are going to make mistakes, and it's acceptable to do that. It's okay not to get frustrated and not to beat yourself up, because you are learning to do something. So, don't be hard on yourself. But I know what you mean. It is frustrating when that happens, but it will come in time, I assure you. I was the worst trader you can imagine. Maybe a couple of years ago, I made some right stupid mistakes. I threw money at it. I balls this up like you wouldn't believe. But in time, as your skill, I'm going to make a video about this. Let me just draw this thing here. So if you've got, this is the easiest way I can describe it. So if you've got a child's seesaw there, yeah. Let me explain this if no one's seen it. This is how I see things. So you know what I mean by a child's seesaw. So you get one kid on there and one kid on there, and they push up and down. So when you start trading, your skill level is down here and your emotional level is up here. And that really leads to blown accounts, loads of losses, blah, blah, blah. But as you start to get better, your skill level will start to push up and your emotional level will start to come down. And you'll get to a point where you'll hit that kind of balance. And that's when things start to change. Trades then, you start to tip in your favour. You get used to going, oh, I've been here before. This doesn't look right. This is a bit risky. And I'd say when I do that, 60, 70% of the time they would have failed. So I think that's a fair number. But as you improve, once you hit that tipping point, your skill level gets better. So does your self-belief and self-confidence. And that aids to reduce these emotions. And the more you do something day in, day out, those emotions play less of a part. It just happens very slowly. And it's not very clear to see that change. If you go down to the gym and lift weights and you lose weight, you can visually see that. But with the changes going on in your mind, it's not so straightforward. But that's what happens. And now, once you get up there, your confidence and self-belief, and when you see the numbers starting to work, that gives you even more self-belief, and those emotions then really play a back seat. So, but it takes time to get to that level. So when you're making mistakes or losing trades or you're up or you're down, don't beat yourself up. Just keep telling yourself this is a process that takes time. And as long as I keep coming back here whenever I can and practicing and learning, it's impossible not to get better, I assure you. So, forgive yourself when you do stupid things, because it's part of trading. It's a natural human response to when things get tough, especially when it comes to financially, you panic. And that's when those emotions take over. And although those emotions might be good in that fight or flight thing, they kind of make you, your hearing gets better, your ears prick up, your eyes get better. When it comes to trading, it kind of has the opposite effect. So don't be hard on yourself. If anyone's having a tough time, it will get better, I assure you. Doesn't feel like it, but it will. I have to look left. Yeah, I had a piece of paper, a laminated piece of paper. It was on an old monitor I had. And it said, taking a trade, look left. Which is why I kind of never got into that failure there, second entry short stroke failure, because I'm going long into possible support. Now, it may do it, but you're better off avoiding those unless you've been trading years and you understand what's going on that. But for me, I generally avoid them because it's a little bit risky when you're trading after a break. You don't know whether this channel is valid. It's going to bounce and continue down. You don't know when it's going to push up. So I categorize those as probably best leaving them unless you're a really good chart reader. I don't consider myself a really good chart reader. I know enough to be on the right side of making profit, but I sooner or later kind of leave these, and rightly so, because after this, it chopped backwards and forwards. In other words, no one really knows where price is going at the moment. There's sellers, there's buyers, there's a little bit of that kind of uncertainty. So I made the right decision at the right time, but you know, you'll get better at doing that with time. I assure you, you absolutely will. You know, so don't be hard on yourself when it is frustrating though, especially on a Friday. I can't tell you how many shit weekends I had because I did something stupid on a Friday. You know, sometimes you might be better off just trading on a sim on a Friday. That way you don't risk ruining your weekend. Keep Friday maybe for sims or something like that. But yeah, there's nothing worse than being red on a... It doesn't bother me so much now. I know one trade and I'm out, and my maximum loss per account is a couple of hundred. I can deal with that. But I still don't like taking losses, which is why after one loss I'm automatically blocked by my guardian angel trader, because I've deemed I'm better off after a loss not trading for the rest of the day. So a lot of the time it's not about having the best willpower, it's making the right decisions based on how you might react to a certain scenario, and make the best decisions. Everyone has a cracking point. Doesn't matter how good a trader you are, everyone will lose enough till they start to panic and things go wrong. But the smarter traders put things in place to mitigate that happening. Your own accounts, you can, your own brokerage, you can set a daily loss limit on your own brokerage. So there's always a way of protecting yourself should that mind start to have some serious doubts, which, could get you in trouble. So what does that look like? It's not terrible. We've pushed up and gone across until we found some support. But it's one of those days that it's just chopping around. You never quite know where it's going to bounce. So sometimes these days you're better off doing nothing. And if you don't do nothing for a day and you sit for 3 hours, give yourself a pat on the back, because not everyone can do that. A big part of trading is sitting here doing nothing. And not being kind of, sucked in by the allure of possibly making some money. Wait for that, as certain as you can before you get in, and things will work out much better for you. But it does take time to get to that level. It's took me 5 years of failing and getting into trouble to start making better decisions. So it's not an easy, it's certainly not a quick process. That was a nice failed second entry long, that one there. See, I wouldn't take that purely and simply because we're back in the channel. Now, whether that bounces and pushes up, I'm not so sure. But just because I don't like something doesn't mean you shouldn't, and you shouldn't take it. I see people taking trades that I wouldn't entertain. So is this... I've got two scenarios here. I've got a channel up with sideways and a couple of legs up, and I've got something larger. I'm not so sure. This isn't perfect, but if you look at the top, it doesn't look terrible. But at the moment, I don't know where things are going. I'm not sure whether that channel's valid, which is why I got no colour. So you don't know whether we're going to test this area and come down and test the lows. So when it's like this, me personally, I tend to just prefer to stay out unless something absolutely jumps in front of me in waves. The only one I wish I did, that I think was okay to take. see, at the time, we pushed up, we'd had a channel break, 2 pushes to a new high and a retest. You just never know. But going along there for me, when we've come off the top, is risky. So that, I think, was an okay trade. And possibly that as well. We'd had 4 bars there struggling to get up, but I can see a few traders took that. Will Mac mark that? Yeah, probably. But I just take into consideration all this support along here. You just never quite know. But there has been some setups around today. I'm quite happy leaving them, and yesterday there was as well. So hopefully 2 days in a row, the markets have picked up, which is good news because it's been slow for a month and a half. So fingers crossed. When we get into next week, things should hopefully improve. We'll consider to improve. See, are we testing this and coming down, or have we had 2 legs and this is pushing up? Who knows? That doesn't look terrible. It doesn't quite have the same feel on here. So I'm really not sure what's going on here. We've pushed down, and one thing you've noticed as we've pushed down, we've cleared any liquidity there, 3 bounces. So once it's cleared that, we could now turn up for a second leg. We absolutely could. 1 leg up and then down, leg and a leg, clear all liquidity, and then off we go. But I'm just not sure at the moment. One thing I will say is we're touching a couple of times there, a couple of times there, a couple of times there, and the top doesn't look bad. So it could be a channel with 2 legs, clear liquidity, and then push up to a new high. So getting short into some of this, even though it would have worked, it's not for me really, because you don't know what's going to happen. There's going to be liquidity there. You can bet your bottom dollar. Is this going up? Is it coming down? Who knows? On this chart, it looks like it may be coming down. On this chart, it looks quite a bit different. What I will say is if you look on Bookmap, there are buyers at 55 there. And there are sellers up at 67 up here. So I have a feeling this is going to push up and test these highs. Because we flushed down and cleared out any liquidity, and see where it's bounced there, right below all this. That anything around here that's been taken out. So this could have a quick push up. Stacking up a little now. it is kind of finding it hard to get through that EMA, so who knows. See, that as a channel with a couple of legs up and a new low, I thought it was okay. It just wasn't super certain. In which case we could have a leg and come right down, but we'll see. Okay, some buyers there, a little bit below. I would be inclined, just in Dan's chart, to bring this down a bit. That looks a little better. Does look like a shoulder head and a shoulder, doesn't it? Which is a bearish pattern. Okay, sellers at 50 below. Yeah, below that bar as well. See what happens. Definitely not a. There has been a couple of trades, but it's not massive fun trading this. It can get you in a bother. I think Nut is trading today, is he? I don't know, he's not trading today. Oh. I think I'm going to finish now, to be fair. It's been a bit of a boring day, actually. Does like we may become, so maybe that was valid. Couple of legs up, push down, so maybe it is. So I'm going to leave it there, folks. So it's not turned out a bad financial month for me, although trades have been a bit few and far between. That's the beauty of having a bunch of accounts, so I'm still at about 10,700 for the month. So consider it's been a naff month. You can still earn okay, really, even on a poor month when you've got multiple accounts. So yeah, you take it easy, bud. So I'm going to leave you guys. Best of luck if you're carrying on. Have a great weekend. Stay safe, and I'll be back on Monday, and hopefully things will continue to pick up. Have a great weekend. Bye for now.